Hey everyone, I'm Tim Freitas from the Garden of English, and I exist, well, for many different reasons.
42.
But one of them is to help you learn how to write effectively about rhetoric. Before we get into this video, I need to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to give a quick shout out to Ms. Gallagher's AP Lang class at Oneonta High School in Alabama. I want all of you there to know that you have an incredible teacher who cares about you deeply, so make sure that you cherish your time with her. Okay, back to the show. A common problem that many students in high school and college face is writing well about rhetoric. So, this particular video is part of a Garden of English series where I review commonly known and taught rhetorical devices, observe them in the wild in model letters, speeches, or readings, discuss how to transform them into choices, identify their common rhetorical effects, and then model how you can produce strong, precise topic sentences that will help you write the best rhetorical analysis paragraphs and essays that you can, whether you're taking an AP English language class or you're in any secondary classroom, college included. Now, on to today's rhetorical device, repetition. But I'm actually not just going to talk about repetition, I'm also going to talk about parallel structure. And actually, I'm going to talk more specifically about ANAPHORA, which, interestingly enough, I called ANAPHORA many moons ago when I was student teaching, and my supervising teacher, Mrs. Sheehan, immediately made sure that I didn't sound like a dope any longer and corrected my pronunciation. So, if you've been calling it ANAPHORA, know that you should probably change too. I actually owe everything that I do in the Garden of English to Nicole Sheehan, so shout out to her right now as well. She's legendary. Anyway, let's actually begin this video by talking about definitions of some of these words. Repetition is when an author repeats specific words, phrases, sentence structures, and/or ideas. So, if you ever see anything said more than once in what you're reading, you can know it fits under the category of repetition. What's really nice about repetition is that if you ever find it, you can know its rhetorical effect every single time. Repetition is always meant to emphasize something. It's just your job to figure out what. But there's a more specific type of repetition that is called parallel structure. Parallel structure is the repetition of sentence patterns at the word, phrase, clause, and even sentence level. Let me give you an example. If I were to tell you that I liked running, swimming, and to bike, can you tell me what's wrong with that sentence? You're right, it should be biking. Changing that word would allow the sentence to maintain its parallel structure. But in a rhetorical sense, you'll typically see parallel structure on the clause and sentence level. For example, when JFK mentioned in his inaugural address that the US would pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and success of liberty, he constructed each part of that sentence in the same manner. And last, I need to define the word anaphora for you. And this is just a more specific type of parallel structure that repeats the same word, phrase, or clause at the beginning of closely positioned lines. Most of you watching this have read Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. When he consistently proclaims, I have a dream, or when he repeats, let freedom ring, these are examples of anaphora. Nonetheless, whether you're talking about parallel structure, anaphora, or a host of other devices like epistrophe and antithesis, which are not covered in this video, the truth is you're talking about repetition. And if you're talking about repetition, identifying the rhetorical effect that it's supposed to have on the audience is super easy because it's always meant to emphasize. So in this video, I want to show you how to precisely discuss repetition by looking at a speech by Florence Kelly. The speech is linked in the description right below this video. I'm not going to read the speech to you, so I need you to pause the video right now. Click on the link to the speech, read it for yourself, and focus on paragraphs 3 through 5. Now wait, before you actually pause and read, did you notice that I just projected my last sentence in parallel structure in order to emphasize what you needed to do to engage with this YouTube lesson?
I don't know.
I hope so. Now, this time, I really want you to pause and read the speech. Okay, now that you're back, let's talk about how to write about what's repeated in those paragraphs that I told you to focus on. I hope that you noticed that Florence Kelly repeated the clause, while we sleep. Now, the first thing that you need to do to write effectively about this repetition that also fits under the umbrella of parallel structure, which is also arguably under the umbrella of anaphora, is to never say that Kelly uses repetition, or never say that Kelly uses parallel structure structure. Or never say that Kelly uses anaphora. Did you see that there? I digress. Anyway, you never want to say the author uses anything because that verb sucks. And if you want a better understanding as to why, you can check out my video that looks like this. And it is also linked in the description down below. Now, instead, you want to think about the device you want to talk about and turn it into a verb. And in this case, it's super easy. If we are writing about repetition, we are going to transform the device into a choice by changing it to the verb repeats. So, instead of saying Kelly uses repetition, I'm going to start writing a strong sentence about rhetorical analysis by saying that Kelly repeats. But now I need to actually say what she's repeating without actually including textual evidence in what would be my topic sentence. I need to do this because I don't want to include exact textual evidence in the rhetorical analysis topic sentence if I'm going to write a full paragraph. Instead, I'm going to try to say what the repeated clause "while we sleep" is. In this case, I'm going to call it a common nightly behavior. So, if I were writing a topic sentence that would precisely talk about Kelly's rhetorical choices, I would want to start like this. Kelly repeats a common nightly behavior, but my topic sentence isn't done because I haven't included the rhetorical effect of this choice. In this case, though, that's really easy because the effect is to emphasize. But I can't just end this sentence with something like "to emphasize her point" or "to emphasize her argument." To write precisely and do this well, I would want to finish my sentence by adding "to emphasize the guilt adults should feel for forcing children to slave away deep into the night." Now, before I put these two pieces of the sentence together, if this video has been helpful to you, I need you to press the like button below this video and then click on the little skull in the bottom left-hand corner down there. Check out what that does. And now that you've done that, let's see what this final topic sentence would look like before I would move on to write my whole analytical paragraph. It would read like this. Kelly repeats a common nightly behavior to emphasize the guilt adults should feel for forcing children to slave away deep into the night. Now, that is a strong topic sentence that would lead to quite an incredible paragraph. But you might not appreciate that I said nightly behavior and then ended the sentence with deep into the night. If you wanted to, you could change out one of those words night for a synonym. We could actually write it like this. Kelly repeats a common nightly behavior to emphasize the guilt adults should feel for forcing children to slave away deep into the twilight. Yes, that works really well too. And if you'd like to learn how to write remarkably strong rhetorical analysis body paragraphs, or if you want to look at the best ways to write about other common devices and their effects, you're going to want to check out what is about to pop up on your screen.